Jannelle Crane, and most of you know who she is, or you've certainly heard about her. She's a fantastic lady, and she has an awesome story. She's going to tell you about her medical conditions when she started this business, and a little bit about what the business means to her. Jannelle.
Thank you very much, Mary. Many of you have heard my story, so bear with me because this is for some of the new people or those of you who haven't heard it. I was introduced to Zango in the beginning back in 2003 for the opportunity. And actually a good friend drugged me to a meeting and we had a presentation, and on the way home he says, "What do you think?" And I said, there's no way I could do this. You know, many of your good friends will tell you no, but there was an urgency in his voice, and the speaker that we heard was Sherman Unkefer, and you know, he had an urgency, and he sounded like he knew what he was doing, so I said no. And I went home, and then I did a little research on the computer as far as, let's see what Zango is, because in the early days there was no product there was no literature, you know, none of this wonderful thing, you know, stuff like this to become educated on it. So I started looking into it, and it really did sound good, and I thought, you know, if this supplement could do a quarter of what people are saying it's going to do, or what the science even supports, maybe it's something I should take a look into. You know, my family, we've never been supplementers, but it's time to start. You know, we aren't getting any younger, none of us are, so we did. We decided to try this opportunity and to see where it would take us. So we were taught in the beginning, you know, 2 boxes of juice, that will maximize the compensation plan, so that's what we did. We got our 2 boxes of juice, and my family of 3, we split that. You do the math, that's about 2 ounces a day for each of us. But we were healthy, so we were okay. You know, we were very healthy. And actually a year had gone by just promoting it, and I'll tell you, it was the most rewarding thing to have people come up to you and give wonderful stories like these people all did, and just to know that you had a part in that because you shared it with them. So it was just very rewarding. The business was going very well. We were healthy, and it's time to go to the doctors. You know, once a year you're supposed to go for that checkup. So I went for my checkup, and the doctor found a tumor on my ovary the size of a honeydew melon. And that's what I said. And we even got a second opinion. I mean, how can you not know you have something like that? I couldn't see it, I couldn't feel it, there was no discomfort, there was no symptoms at all. They weren't sure what it consisted of, this tumor, but they did schedule a surgery because it needed to be removed, because they were afraid it was going to burst. And then we could be in trouble if it was cancerous. So they scheduled the surgery to remove it. That's when they found out that yes, it was cancerous. It was clear cell carcinoma, which is a very aggressive form of ovarian cancer. And the good news to all of this, now remember, my family was splitting this juice, 2 boxes of juice. I was drinking 2 ounces a day. That's not much, but it's still good. That tumor, or that cancer, was only stage 1. And my doctor couldn't quite figure out why a tumor of that size, with that aggressive growth, why it would just be 1. He said you should be a stage 3 or 4. I wasn't going to tell him I was drinking the juice, because, you know. So, as they were removing that tumor, it was so impacted in my other organs that it burst. So now it spilled right back into me. So now the cancer was no longer contained. And they, of course, said the next step will be chemotherapy. And probably many of you, in fact, we'll see, how many do know people who've been on chemo? And the quality of life just is nothing you would be looking forward to. So it scared me. It's as scary as being told you have cancer. Because I saw my grandma go through chemo, and I wasn't ready for that. And I was fortunate enough to talk to Dr. Templeman, and he told me, he kind of went over my labs, which was great because it meant nothing to me. And he started saying, how much juice are you drinking? I said, well, I'm drinking 2 ounces a day. Drink more. How much more? He says, drink as much as you can afford to drink. And of course, that wasn't good enough for me. I wanted to know how much. Give me some direction. How much should I drink? And he still wouldn't answer. So I said, if this was Mrs. Templeman, how much would I be drinking? And he said, oh, you would drink a bottle a day. I said, okay, now we're talking. Not that direction. So I, coachable. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. So I did. I drank a bottle a day, and he said, drink it through your entire chemo. We all know what chemo is. It's poisons that's going into your body. So I did. I started right away. That was even before my chemo started. I started taking a bottle a day, plus the good pure water, distilled water, and it started making a difference. When I would, well, first, this is funny. I went to my oncologist. I was not going to tell him I was drinking a juice, but then I thought, okay, he was pretty emphatic that I was going to lose my hair. And I said, but I'm taking a supplement, and I know it's been helping a lot of people minimize their side effects. Maybe I won't. I'm kind of optimistic sometimes. He says, you will lose your hair. And I said, but I might not. And he says, if you don't lose your hair, he says, I'll tell the world about your juice. My light bulb went on, and I thought, while I have a full head of hair, I should go home and put some glue on there. And I'll let him do my business for me. But I probably thought that wouldn't work out too cool, so yes, I did lose my hair, but it lasted twice as long as the other ladies. Now, I had chemo with 3 other ladies, my chemo buddies. Every 3 weeks, we would go for our 6-hour drip, and you get to know each other pretty well. And so you're always kind of comparing. Well, as they are sitting there, sleeping most of the time, I'm sitting there drinking my juice, answering the phone, doing things like that. And there was a huge difference between my quality of life and what they had. And so many of them, actually the first girl came and I really felt sorry for her. She was a young mom with 2 little kids. And you know how it's hard to keep up with little kids. And she just looked over at me and says, I want to look and feel like you look. And it's like, wow. So I said, I am drinking this juice. And so she started trying it, and noticed she was able to keep up with her kids now when she got home, because you get very, very tired. Drinking the juice, I noticed I did not have the fatigue, the extreme fatigue that you get with taking chemo. I didn't have the nauseousness, oh thank goodness, I don't do well with that. I didn't have the severe bone pain. They gave me a prescription because I was going to experience severe bone pain, but I never had to fill it. The juice kept everything under control. It helped me lead a pretty normal life. Okay, I bought a wig, and it was really cute. In fact, everyone says, oh, I like your hair, so much better. They didn't know I had a wig on, or they probably would have said that, but so it just made a difference. I went about my daily routine, worked daily, went and did health fairs, and people who didn't know I was going through chemo would look at me and say, wow, this juice must work pretty good, you look so healthy. And I thought, wow, a chemo patient really looks healthy, that's incredible. So I drank the juice all the way through my treatments. Last July, I had my 5-year and out clean checkup, cancer-free.